Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode. Thanks for being here. If you've watched the last few, welcome back. We're excited that you're hanging out with us, and hopefully we bring some value in today's talk.
Nutrition. That's what we decided on to talk about.
Well, meal prep specifically.
Yeah.
Or
we'll branch off.
Sure.
Yeah.
But just a little, summary from the week. I don't know if we've mentioned on here or not. We have in the newsletter on Instagram, and I can't remember here or not. But we're working towards a century ride, and a part of that was we needed bikes. So yesterday we went to the local bike shop and we got bikes. So we'll be talking about that more as it's all new for us, which is exciting. So we'll kind of film and talk about that as we go over the next 6 months. So that will be fun, and that's new from the week. But
we don't need 6 months to repair, but...
No, but the timing that we want to do it.
We're just going to do it then. So.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anything you want to summarize from the week?
No. Good week of training. And, no, I'm just living in the here and now, baby.
All normal things. That was we didn't even plan to buy the bikes yesterday, but we went to figure out a size, and this is all so new. We don't know the sizing. We don't know what we need. Obviously, we need a bike. So that was step one. And yeah, we're going from there. But yeah, we're going to talk about meal prep today because it's the weekend. We are meal prepping. It's on the mind, but it's also something we get asked about very frequently. The question can vary, but how do you make meal prep more exciting? Or how do you meal prep? How do you go about making all of that food at once? How do you simplify it? On and on. There are so many different questions around it. And for us, it's such a normal part of our weekend now that it's been kind of fun, I guess, to figure out the steps. So we're going to kind of go through that, I think. And then, like Cody said, maybe branch off as we go. I think the big thing with meal prep is there's been a time... Did you ever track food?
No.
Okay, I didn't actually know if...
Never. Well, I probably maybe did it for a day, and I was like...
Now I know.
This is for the birds. No, it wasn't. It wasn't. I know it was. I've never put it in a calculator or anything, or
So you never used MyFitnessPal or?
No, never.
Okay, I actually wasn't sure.
Maybe like I said, maybe once. And I only say that because I don't want to say I've never done it, but maybe once. But I just know that
you've probably calculated in some way.
Oh yeah, I've definitely figured out okay, how many carbs are in this, or how much protein's in this.
Just not formally tracked.
No, tracking a day's worth of food?
Yeah.
No, never.
Yeah. Never. Well, that's what I was going to say I have had a very extensive season of tracking every morsel that went in my body. And I think the balance of these two things, the great part of tracking is that you learn what is in food. You understand what 4 ounces of chicken breast looks like. You know how many grams of protein are in it, or whatever that is for a half cup of rice, a size of sweet potatoes, on and on. You start to understand when you see a plate of food, you can say, okay, that's what I need. That's a good serving size for me. So there is a benefit in tracking, but with meal prep, we don't necessarily do it for the sake of we've tracked everything. We do somewhat weigh our foods, but again, it's just out of we kind of have a way to know what we need. But meal prep for us is not so that we perfectly hit macros every single day, every single week. I think the real part of why we meal prep is because we can now go into the week confident that we are going to eat good foods. They're going to be in the house. They're going to be made, and it helps with decision fatigue. So if you're waking up and thinking, what do I want to have for breakfast today? And then doing that all 7 days and trying to switch up your meal. And then again for lunch and again for dinner and maybe some snacks. And you're constantly trying to think through, what am I feeling? What am I craving? What sounds good? What's in the kitchen? What do I have available to make? That is just, it's too much. If there is a way to do it. And if you want to go that route, it is possible. It's not what we're going to be talking about today. We love to simplify, love to remove the decisions that we can. And then we have maybe 2 nights a week that it is, like last night, what do we want to have for dinner? Let's make it. We'll have something different. But for the most part, everything is prepped. So that's just a little preface behind why we do it and why it is so important for us to meal prep and take the time each weekend, and why we're such a big believer in everyone doing it in some way.
Have a plan.
Have a plan with what you're going to eat. It does not have to be you've made all of your breakfasts, all of your lunches, all of your dinners, and they're in these neat, tidy, portioned meals in your fridge ready to go. It doesn't have to be like the way Pinterest makes it look. You can do it in portioned meals, but you can also just batch prep a bunch of chicken and then that's ready to go. You can, if you don't want to even cook everything, you can just start to clean the chicken and slice everything. And then when the night comes around, you can kind of be like, all right, what marinade do I want tonight? And give some variation there. But you want to have some plan and you want to tackle some of these steps in advance.
Yeah. Peanut butter and jelly can be meal prep.
Yeah, it can really be so simple. And I think that's a big part of us. We are not making these fancy recipes and trying new recipes every week for meal prep. It is really simple.
Yep.
And that is step 1, is to meal prep. You have to have the food in your house. Again, we keep this very simple. We are not every weekend looking through Pinterest and thinking, you probably don't even know what Pinterest is, but
I know what Pinterest is.
Okay, well, I
definitely know what Pinterest is.
Yeah.
It's got pictures and stuff on it.
Very pretty, curated, and
it's for girls.
Yeah, primarily, yeah.
Yeah.
But you can find lots of cute recipes or fun recipes. Sometimes I think that would be fun, but it is, again, just too much to do every week. The week goes fast and you're back at a new week again and thinking like, all right, what do we want to get? So for us, we have a running notes in our app of all the foods that we eat on a regular basis. These are simple, basic staples like chicken, fish, steak, beef, into dairy, milk, cottage cheese, yogurt, into produce, apples, oranges, carrot, celery, broccoli, zucchini, herbs, spices. Cherries. Yeah, I mean, it's lots of things, but it's the things we eat. It's, I don't know, there are some things even in the produce aisle, like we don't eat them, so it's not really on our list. If there is a time that we want it, we'll add it on, but for the most part, we're eating the same things every week. And so it's in our app. We never have to write out a grocery list every week. That step is already done too. It's in the Notes app. Once we run out of a food, or we're getting close, or a lot of this, like I said, we're just replacing every week. So like chicken, we're getting it every time we go to the store. But when we know we need something, we check it off. And then when we go to the grocery store, the grocery list is already ready. We know what we're getting. I think going to the grocery store can actually be overwhelming for people because they don't know what to get, or trying to think through, again, new recipes. What do I need for this? We don't have a pantry that's full of things. Our freezer isn't stocked with things. We are in the grocery store probably, honestly, like 10 to 15 minutes. We're in, we have our list, we know what we're getting, throw it in the cart, and we're out. We are never looking through. Now, not to say we don't have special fun grocery nights, like we love going to Publix or something to look around, but that is separate. Our actual, we're here to get our grocery haul is very fast. From there, and just for kind of reference, we do that usually on Saturday. So that's step 1. We don't pile this all into one day. That would be a lengthy amount of time dedicated to meal prep. You can do it that way and get it all done. But we like to just spread it out a little bit. So we'll grocery shop Saturday, Sunday, cut up the chicken, cut up the vegetables, mix together the marinade, and that's really it. Those are the main things we're doing on Sunday. It's very, very efficient, I would say. Not necessarily fast, but like we're pretty fast at it now.
Yeah.
We know the marinade. We have a few marinades, so this is another way you can do it to have some variation. We have a few recipes that we know we like now. They're tried and true, good staples in the house, and we might rotate through those. So we might do one marinade for a week and then switch it up. But honestly, sometimes we just tend to get fixated on something for a little bit. So we'll maybe do a marinade for a month and then be like, all right, we're kind of bored of this now, let's switch, and we'll go to another. But make the marinade, cut up the chicken, cut up the vegetables. Most of that we are doing on the Blackstone, so we'll make it in the morning, let it sit, and then later on throw it on the Blackstone. Of course, that's pretty fast. Potatoes and vegetables, some might be roasted in the oven. We do a lot of rice too, and that is in the rice cooker. So
Jasmine
rice, we get a 50-pound bag at Sam's Club. Fill it's probably like a 5-gallon, no, maybe, I don't know. It's a large container. 2-gallon, 3-gallon?
No, it's 5-gallon probably.
Yeah. Got a big one of those.
Whatever, it's big.
Yeah. It's a nice big jar. So we'll pour some from the 50-pound bag into that. That stays in the pantry. So we always have rice on hand. Rice we will make every 3 days or so, I'd say. But again, very quick on the days we know we are going to need it. Put it into the rice cooker. We make a large batch again. We do 4 cups at a time, which makes a good bit of rice. Have that ready for the days and then repeat. So it's kind of just like on a system now.
One thing I'll say about the decision fatigue, and we talked about it a second ago, but the reason why the prepping and planning is important is I remember there was one, I'm sure it's been done several times, but one study I remember, and it looked at like judges, like from like a court, and from the beginning of the day to the end of the day, they made better decisions, like objectively better decisions and rulings early in the day, and they got worse like in the late afternoon. So this is kind of like the evidence they use for decision fatigue, is that you only have so much kind of like cognitive bandwidth to make decisions. It's fatiguing. The brain uses a lot of energy whenever you're making a lot of decisions. If you ever want to be blown away, look at like the amount of calories that like chess grandmasters use when they're playing. It's like absurd, because their brain is just like gobbling up glucose like at an astonishing rate. So because of that, and like when those stores are low, there's a signal, there's a fatigue signal, and like you start making poor decisions or hasty decisions and not fully thinking things through, and that's when you go to Zaxby's instead of going to like back home where your food is. So
yeah, it only makes sense if the day has gone by and you're tired and you get home and you don't have the groceries you need in the house. Like, you're human. What do you expect you're going to do? It only makes sense. And so understanding that is going to be an expected choice that you make, prevent this by planning in advance and keeping things simple. We do, like we said, eat the same thing every day, and we don't mind doing that. But I know that is a big friction point for some people. So like I said, have a few recipes. When you find one you like, whether that be on Pinterest or a family recipe that you have. I know for me, I hate following a recipe online where the ads pop up. That really drives me crazy. So in our app, we have a ton of recipes that are there that you can just pull up, and it's on your phone. You can print it out. But whether it's on the app or not, just have a few that you have printed out or saved to your phone, and you can pull it up and you have those that you can rotate through, that can bring some variation. Or in terms of breakfast, I eat literally the same thing every day. I never switch it up, and I just enjoy it, and I enjoy having the same thing every morning. But you could have maybe 3 different breakfasts, and you rotate every other day. Have those 3 days and then cycle back through. That can bring some variation, but you'll have the things in your house and you will have already thought of it. And it will just become really automatic.
Yeah. Yep. Actionable first step, if you've never meal prepped, is just do 1 meal per week. Whether it's, I'd say lunch is probably the easiest, or breakfast is probably the easiest. And then dinners, you have your variety still until, you if you want to start meal prepping that. But you start with 1 meal, and then with that 1 meal, you figure out, I kind of just very cleanly, especially if it's lunch or dinner, it's way easier to separate into 3 categories of, I have a carb, I have a vegetable, I have a meat.
Protein, yeah.
Protein, yeah. So, and I mean, you can do a bunch of different things. You could do something that's not meat. You could do something that's like a dairy, or you could do something that's like a plant-based protein, or you could do like beans, as being part of the protein along with a bunch of other stuff. But to keep it really simple, carb, vegetable, protein. And then you just like figure out what is the carb. If it's rice, if it's potatoes, if it's bread, if it's pasta, if it's, there's like 4 or 5 like main things that it could be. You figure out, okay, I'm going to have that carb, and then, whatever vegetable. And my rule for vegetables is kind of like do whatever you like. And I know that if you don't like vegetables, that's kind of a problem. So you should probably fix that. You should probably try some vegetables.
Find a few that you like. There's so many out there.
You need to find some that you like. All right, time to grow up. Eat vegetables.
And they can be frozen vegetables.
Yeah, sure.
If that's where you want to start.
Sure,
That is super easy.
Yep.
You can always have them in your freezer.
Gotta eat them though. I mean, unless you want to just take fiber like forever, you have to eat vegetables. So pick a few that you like. If you pick ones that are good for you, but you don't like, it's not going to last. So pick ones that you like, and that goes to say for all of the food too, is it's got to be stuff that you like, especially if you're starting out. If you don't know what you like, you just have to try things. Carb, vegetable that you like, protein. Easiest is chicken. If we talk about marinades, chicken is the universal. It's a blank slate. I mean, if you just eat plain chicken tastes...
It will be boring, but...
Chicken tastes like nothing.
Yeah.
So, but the good thing about that is that you can marinate chicken, or you can
make it really good.
You can put stuff on it that makes it more tolerable.
Yeah.
So,
chicken is our most common.
It's the cheapest. I mean, we live in the real world, So, that's why we do rice. Hush, our dogs are in here. That's why I've been petting the dog for like forever too. She's very needy. Rice, and then we usually do, broccoli, we kind of have like...
Peppers, zucchini.
Yeah, recently. Zucchini, broccoli are like probably the ones that have predominated the last year or so of our lives.
Yeah.
But then Brussels sprouts will sneak in there.
Kind of go through phases.
As well as like your asparagus sometimes, but that's like rare. It's usually
some
broccoli.
Some of them depend if they're on sale. We'll grab them, or if we're just in the mood. But yeah, we usually have our few. Some
specialty things we'll do, like a cabbage shredded, the coleslaw type deal. But for the most part, it's broccoli and zucchini recently.
Yeah, and it helps to honestly have a few that you get, because if you go to the grocery store and get like one of every vegetable, to just say you're getting color and you're getting some variety, you probably won't get through it all, and then that can be in your head that you're wasting this food. But if you just get, and you'll learn about how much you're going to eat. That has to be part of the learning process. But now we know exactly how much chicken to get, exactly how many vegetables, or how many bunches of broccoli. We know what we need exactly for the week, and then we're going to run out and restock. And you will learn that too. But that also helps with timing it for the week. not just filling up your fridge for the sake of filling up your fridge, but having a few staple of the protein. I think we really do the chicken, and then we'll have beef and fish in and out throughout, maybe once a week or so. So having that on hand is good, but simplifying, not overcomplicating it by having, we're going to do chicken this night and fish this night and beef this night, and then you get to the end of the week and half of the chicken package hasn't been used and you're feeling bad about that. Just have a few things you get, use them, start to learn how much you're going to eat, find a few recipes you love, and then find what works for you, whether that's meals prepped completely or really what we do a lot. I do my lunches, but otherwise we do a big container of chicken, a container of vegetables, a container of rice. Dinner comes around, we grab our bowls, we fill up our bowls with our portions, and we're done, and we're ready to eat in a few minutes.
Yep.
So.
Yep. Once you figure out what the meal is, then you got to do how much you're going to eat. And you can do that with more or less precision. The more precise way is the way we do it, is we kind of figure out how many carbs, protein we want in our meals, and then we weigh
the
food, and then there's lots of calculators figuring out how much you should eat based on your age, weight, body fat percentage, activity level, and then you figure it out that way. Figure out how much you should eat of each thing: carb, fat, protein, and then you kind of align your meals
throughout the day to fit that total.
Yeah, or you can do it the less precise way, but will probably make you less neurotic, is just to fill a plate.
Yep.
My plate, or
the build-a-plate method, hand-sized portion.
Yep. And
we have guides for all of these things too.
Lots of resources out there on what, if you're cheating at like a pie chart, what portion is the meat, what portion is the carb, vegetable, and so on and so forth. And that's like the easiest way to do it. Yeah.
Yeah. All of the methods have some use. It's just depending on how detailed you want to get and kind of where you are on your journey too, which will be the most helpful for you to figure out what you need. But
yep.
Yeah.
That's a wrap.
I think that's a good initial meal prep. We could go really so many different ways and talk for quite a while on nutrition and all of this in general, but I think this is a good one. If you have any questions on it, that would be awesome to hear what you would want to hear specifically, and then we can go on different directions. But thank you for watching. Thanks for being here, and we hope you have a great day, whatever day you end up watching this.
Yep. Peace.